What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, back with some more boxing. Now, this morning, I woke up early to make this graphic, so hope you guys enjoy it. It's of Bernard Hopkins, a little homage I'm paying. Today is his birthday. He turns 49 years old, and I just want to say happy birthday. Shout out to BHOP. Now, to me, BHOP is just iconic. He's a legend in the sport. He has the skills to pay the bills, and he is very, very knowledgeable in the sport of boxing. If you speak to him, if you hear him interview, he just has a level of wisdom, and he's a true throwback to some of the classic fighters that we've seen. Now, Bernard Hopkins is also doing something that I think will not fully be appreciated by the masses until he's like done and gone. Not necessarily passed away, but maybe retired from the sport or takes a back seat. And that's kind of the game. That's the way it goes. Sometimes people aren't fully respected during, but after, when they left their legacy and step away from the game, that's when you're able to really see, like, damn, this man was incredible. I think it's incredible what he's doing at such an older age. If you look at boxing, for the most part, it's a young man's game. You could do other things, like you could be an actor, you could be an old actor. Sometimes they need an old person to play a role or whatnot. 49 is not necessarily old in human years, but as a boxer, that is definitely old because boxing is very grueling. Lots of training camps, lots of wear and tear on your body, plus the fight itself, getting in all these fights and several punches later. So what he's doing is really remarkable, and I guess people won't fully appreciate it. Some people nowadays call him boring or whatnot, but I like to appreciate the sweet science. I also enjoy a brawl, but I appreciate what Bernard Hopkins does. And he showed you in the Murat fight that he can be exciting. He could fight less defensive-minded fight and entertain. He was sticking his tongue out, having fun. Definitely a great showman. And all around, he's an overall complete fighter. His resume speaks for itself with stoppages over Oscar De La Hoya. He fought Roy Jones Jr., lost the first time. Then he avenged that loss years later. He's fought Tito Trinidad. You can go on and on about this dude. He's also, this is something he's underrated for, in my opinion. He's also ruined a lot of young fighters' careers, meaning after the young fighter fought him, they're on the way up, and they kind of plateaued after fighting him. People like Kelly Pavlik. Kelly Pavlik was undefeated. He was an up-and-comer, and he was that dude. Same thing with Tavoris Cloud. Tavoris Cloud was undefeated, even though he had a close fight with Campillo. But on his record, he was undefeated. He was a power puncher, and he was really feared for some fighters. They thought he packed a punch and whatnot. And Bernard Hopkins really exposed the blueprint, showed you how to beat fighters like Kelly Pavlik. And I think Sergio Martinez employed some of Bernard Hopkins' strategy. Basically, I know for a fact Sergio Martinez and his camp, prior to fighting Pavlik after Hopkins, looked at Bernard Hopkins' fight with Pavlik and kind of looked at what he did right and took a chapter out of Hopkins' playbook. So he just really has the finesse, he has the style, he has the showmanship, and he's really smart as a businessman. I mean, you have to be smart to stick around in a sport like boxing. And I talked about this in another video in Lamont Peterson versus Dieri. Fans are fickle nowadays. They don't really stand by you, so you have to give them a reason to. And being champion at age 49 is a hell of a accolade or accomplishment. But to have that longevity in the sport is just tremendous. Bernard Hopkins has been around the same time as Roy Jones Jr., but if you look at Roy Jones Jr., a lot of people appreciate him for his commentary work on HBO. However, they think he should hang it up as far as a fighter, myself included. Roy Jones Jr. was my favorite growing up, one of them, and I think he should hang him up. Yet you got fighters like Bernard Hopkins who can still compete at this level of boxing. Like I said, it's a young man's game. These fighters like Canelo, a lot of them are 22, 23, 25, coming up to the ranks. They have power. They are hungry. They are being trained. And just if you look at sports science in general, there's a lot of supplements that you can take legally and different training we didn't know about 30 years ago. So a lot of these athletes nowadays are freaking nature athletes. They do the best strength and conditioning and grueling core exercises and things like that. So for almost 50-year-old man to be fighting with them and still winning, to me is just, it's a feat in itself. That's crazy. So shout out to Bernard Hopkins and Philly. Definitely Philly produces some of the grittiest fighters. Shout out to the people from Philly. And I just respect Bernard Hopkins. Above and beyond anything else, I respect him for what he's given to the game, for his longevity, for his ability to have that business entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, this is a guy who, in his early life, spent a chunk of his life in jail, then started to get his shit together, take boxing seriously, and has been around ever since. Now, that's an accomplishment if you're from the streets or you know anything. There's a lot of things that'll try to pull you down growing up in those environments in Phillies or out here in Oakland, California, North Richmond, things like that. That is an accomplishment to get out of that, to get out of the system where you're not in jail, where you clean up your act. I mean, that's hard enough because jobs don't want to hire you, or people look at you a certain way when they find out that you caught a case. They don't trust you, clutch their purse when you walk by, stuff like that. So for him to basically reinvent himself and team up with Golden Boy and be a part-time promoter and still a fighter at this age, you got to give the man props. So if y'all say he's boring and all that, fuck y'all, because the man is doing what others can't. There's some people like Broner, he's in his 20s getting knocked out, showboating and stuff like that. And Bernard Hopkins is near 50 with the wisdom of a master boxer. So I have yet to see Bernard Hopkins in a fight. Like, there's fights he lost. He lost to Chad Dawson or whatnot, but I haven't seen him get embarrassed like Broner got embarrassed versus Mike Donna. That's because he's a wise fighter. He knows what to do. He's very elusive, very slippery. He pays attention to defense, knows when to showboat. So, I mean, you can learn a lot from the old heads. So, again, happy birthday, Bernard Hopkins. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of Bernard Hopkins. There's a lot of great fights out there for him still. Unfortunately, some of them require the Cold War to end. I would love to see him against Stevenson or Kovalev or the winner of that two fight, because I want to see them fight first. I would love to see him against Andre Ward, even though they've expressed that they don't really have a desire to fight each other. There's other guys, man. There's other names out there. And to me, it's always going to be a show or something must-see TV for me, because I want to see how long can a man like this compete at this level at the age he's at. So when I hear Bernard Hopkins is fighting, I still want to watch it just because I want to see, like, damn, is he still doing it? Like Jay-Z said, how he's still so good. I just want to see how is he still in it with these young guys and much younger fighters. So I always tune into Bernard Hopkins despite anything else. So for now, enjoy the graphic I made. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment about Bernard Hopkins, BHOP, Philly. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.